Road Break family, NXT UK, welcome to another episode of our show. And we're going to be talking about everything that happened in this week's episode. And we're really excited because it was a pretty good show. We had, in the end, as the main event, a tag team championship match. You know, really cool stuff. Meiko Satomura, they did like something honoring like her championship reign. And like we said with Paul, we now know who's going to be the new opponent for Meiko Satomura. Paul actually noticed it. There's going to be some return, a really great return on the women's division. So pretty good show. And also Ilya Dragunov is going to be responding to Nathan Frazier if he's going to have that championship match, yes or no. Paul, your thoughts on this show?
Yeah, overall, I thought this was a great show. I mean, we say it each and every week, but we're going to keep saying it. Best show in wrestling right now. And they continue to deliver lots of good stuff here. You know, future matches, you know, we're going to touch on a lot of them each segment. I mean, you know, another great episode. And I'm interested to see, you know, and excited to see, you know, what they keep doing because, like we say each and every week, it's good booking. It makes sense.
Exactly. So thank you so very much for being with us, family. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep doing so. Keep, you know, just supporting the original Road Break. Don't forget, yesterday we did AEW Dynamite review. Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley confirmed at AEW Revolution. You know, this match was supposed to take place, remember, in the last pay-per-view that they had in Full Gear, I think it was, and also like because of like the situation with Jon Moxley, they have to postpone that, but they're going to do this, you know, in this pay-per-view. And I think that after that, whatever the outcome is, they're going to start tag teaming. I feel, because that's the whole point of this rivalry. But aside of that, CM Punk, MJF, more build-up, Kingston against Jericho, good stuff.
Yeah, you know, the Revolution, they're building up to be a really good show. The big thing I would say that came out of the show was the MJF promo. Everybody was talking about that. Oh my God, was it real? You know, no, you and I said this is all to play mind games with CM Punk to get in his head. But you want to hear our full thoughts? Check out the review. It's on.
Exactly. Don't forget to check it out. Everything is in the same, you know, in the same channel. All the videos. Just please, you know, go ahead. Keep us like, you know, keep subscribing, keep leaving your comments, keep giving the like. Oh, we appreciate that. There you go. The first match that we're going to talk about is Xia Brookside and Amel. This opened up the show, and you know, in this I was thinking maybe Xia Brookside will get the win just because she's heel. But the one thing, did you notice that when she comes out, she's smiling, and then all of a sudden goes heel, keeps smiling, does the, you know, the airplane, goes heel again. So I don't like that.
Yeah,
but,
I think
Amel, you know, another great performance, pretty solid, really good stuff.
Yeah, I think she tries to play it up kind of like she's still the role model, the baby face, like, you know, the inspiration that Amel is, but really, no, she's an annoying heel. And I do agree with you. I thought, you know, because she always says, oh, you know, I'm going to call my dad, her, you know, the British legend, Bobby Brookside, I thought, okay, maybe he would show up, or, you know, they do something where, like, or somebody, you know, maybe it's like one of his assistants, something they cause a screwy finish and start a little feud here. But, you know, no, they didn't do that. And after a pretty good match, you know, Amel, she hits the Hope Breaker 1, 2, 3. And it was a good opening match. I like how Amel keeps getting momentum, especially if they go, hey, Blair Davenport was our big monster heel. We wanted to, you know, be the new women's champion. You know, maybe that's going to be Isla Dawn. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Yeah, so you got to start building up some baby faces, you know, to maybe be challenging a new heel champion.
A new heel champion. We'll see, you know, but like great performance by Amel, like you said, like ever since they turned in babyface, solid after solid after solid performance. The only loss that she had was a Genie, but that was a screwy finish, remember? So
yes.
Aside of that, Xia Brookside, I guess, is just like a member of the roster just to like put girls over. I don't think they really like have come to terms that like she has to win matches, or at least she has to embrace her new gimmick, and that's why like she's suffering, because again, you know, comes out, it smiles, goes back to heel. So I don't like that. But Paul, also we had like the announcement that in 2 weeks time we're going to see the Heritage Cup being defended, Joe Coffey against Noam Dar. They had like a little bit of a thing, you know, in Sid Scala's office. That was cool. And Shaz Samuels is also going to face, I think it's Mark Coffey. I think it's, I don't know, it's next week. So really cool stuff. And I don't know if the title is in danger here, but I do not want to see Joe Coffey as the Heritage Cup champion. I'd rather see Noam Dar holding that belt.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll do it either. This feud to me is kind of weird. I mean, everybody involved, or most guys in it, you know, because there's what 5-6 guys involved. You know, yes. Most of them,
and, you know, Noam Dar.
Yeah, most of them are main event guys, but it's like it's just this feud. It just doesn't feel like a legit feud to me. So I don't know. I don't think the title's going to change hands here. And you know, Noam Dar even said it. He's like, he doesn't even want a Heritage Cup match. It's
Yes,
bullshit.
no, it's true.
Why does he even have the title shot? And they're
He's like,
like,
why is
oh,
he number one contender?
yeah. So I mean, the match is going to be great because both guys are studs. So I am looking forward to it, but I don't think it's going to change hands.
No, exactly. So that's also what we saw. We saw also Raja going against Jeremy Jones. He's one of the enhancement talents like the Familia. That was cool. Raja took care of him like really quickly, and then they kept beating up the guy. So like, and also after that, which during the break, we saw the A-Kid coming out, and you see like a kind of like he goes to Dempsey, like, dude, I thought you were better than that. And he goes, maybe. So you see maybe a little bit of a rivalry there. So that's going to be a really great technical match. And it's good because then Dempsey can have a really big win over the A-Kid. But if they put A-Kid over, which more likely will do, because A-Kid for some reason always gets the win. And like, I wouldn't like that because the Familia needs to get those wins.
Yeah, no, and
kind of
I don't
sucks
think
Paul that Theo Man doesn't get the win and he's the leader, and Raja gets the win. So
yeah, I mean it was that's why the booking was weird. I didn't like that match, the way they did it, especially when you had D Familia out there and he still lost. But this match this week, I like Raja. I don't mind these guys getting the win. The match, they put over, what was it, Danny Jones or something? Was his
Danny
name?
Jones,
yeah. He was, we seen him a bunch of times, matches with Jack Stars and everything. He's one of those guys who he's good, he has size, but he just doesn't have a character yet. His, like you said, his role right now is just put these guys over, and
help out to enhance it, to advance the story.
Yeah, but the match, I mean, maybe so that's why they probably gave him a little offense here and there, but it went a little long. I thought D Familia should just stomp this guy out sooner than later, but they eventually got there, like you said. And I mean, I'm looking forward to Dempsey. Give him all the momentum. He'd be a guy who eventually I could see being the champion here.
Yeah.
In NXT UK. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this match.
I mean, like, the Familia needs to, like, if you want to consolidate the Familia, if you want to make him look strong, if you want to make him look like
the only thing about this is why is A-Kid, what's because he's like, oh, I thought you were better than this. Like, do they have history? Do they know each other? Like, what's the what does he mean?
The A-Kid is all about values, all about behavior, all about all of that. So that
but like, why does he think Dempsey is like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a weird thing to
say. What he said, was like, don't you know the dad is William Regal? Don't you know that like William Regal, he created the brass knuckles and all of that? Come on, dude. But anyway, at least they're gonna have a match, and I think for the technical aspect, it's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be great. So I really like that. And now let's go, Paul, to like the next one, and this is the celebration for Meiko Satomura's title reign. We got to see Andy Shepherd. He's introducing their Meiko. Hey, we're gonna see a video of highlights of your title championship reign, and Meiko, like, they give her a bouquet of flowers. She's excited. Thank you for everything. And right away, boom, the lights go out, and we got to see Isla Dawn. And this is the first time that actually we've heard her talk. That was great. Why? Because she got a really good promo, and in all this like unhinged, confused, character that she has, and she's like, Meiko, oh, I want an opportunity, and you gave me something to strive for, and that's the NXT UK's Women's Championship. And Meiko goes, well, if you want a match, you just have to ask. She's like, Meiko, I don't ask for things, I take them. She has the super kick, and Meiko gets done. And Isla Dawn, what did you think? For me, Isla Dawn stole the show in this particular episode just because of how great she looked.
Yeah, and I mean, they really, I don't know if this was post-production because we know the show ain't live, it's that they pre-tape everything, but the way she walks and just like the lighting, it just looks like creepy. It almost doesn't even look like you're watching, something that's real.
Show.
It looks like weird. It's just
more like a movie.
Yeah, but I mean, they get it over, and you almost don't know how tall she is or maybe how short Meiko is. But I mean, Meiko was on heels and Isla Dawn wasn't, and she towered over Meiko. So she's pretty tall, and that again adds to this. It's a cool thing when that she has to overcome this giant monster, evil witch lady, whatever you want to call her, Isla Dawn here. But this is good, and I was thinking, oh, don't take the title, don't be a Jinder Mahal, one of those bullshits where you run away with the belt, ha ha ha. No, she just kind of picked up her flowers, smelled them, creepily laughed, rolled away. And this is going to be something where I'm going to ask you, because right before this, we saw another creepy little vignette thing where some truck driver's driving and then somebody runs across the street and he's like, or the road, and he's like, what's this? Gets out and he like sees something on the
He
ground,
saw
picks it up.
something walking by.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it was like it looked like bird feathers in the dirt. So bird feathers, who's that going to be? Well, that Eva Valkyrie. So she's probably going to be making her return soon. So that's pretty cool. And is this one of those things where do you think maybe they do some kind of triple threat match later on, or do you think maybe Isla Dawn wins the belt? What kind of direction do you think they're going to go with this? Because with the whole, I feel like it was going to go to Blair Davenport, but with that, being out, out
Where
the window,
Blair took care of that, really quickly.
Yeah.
But
so now they got to recover.
They will do a triple threat. Will be nice. It will be a really. I would like them finally. With no restrictions in the world. Finally, pandemic is not the topic of the day anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
or do you think? Or I was gonna say, or do you think that they should now that I'm thinking about it, do you think she deserves to be like, oh, she comes back first match right in, or should
no? I think that
she should kind of build her way up
because she never really the history. What was the last match? Ginny.
Yeah.
Ginny is still technically on NXT UK, so maybe that's the route that they go. So I'm saying for me it's a singles match with Isla Dawn because right there Make already said yes. Make already said yes to the match. So once, next week it's going to be all Make a reaction to what Isla Dawn did. And then maybe 1 or 2 weeks we're going to see that match taking place with NXT UK. But like you said, Eva Valkyrie coming back is going to add a lot of more depth to that division. And I want to see finally her going for that championship. Because if you think about it, she's never had that championship. When she faced Mako, that match was not a championship match. It was just Mako and Eva Valkyrie. So that will be cool. But again, for me, I'm just really surprised, but pleasantly surprised with how Isla Dawn did. Because remember, is the character is PP, she steals the thing, she's like holding them to him, going on like, okay. But now she finally says things. Kind of like she's presenting herself. That's just a way of presenting herself. Excellent. And the good way to kind of like put down Blair Davenport, meaning like, hey, that storyline is on standby, and now we can focus on something different. And yet, the presence of Mako Satomura still adds a lot. Yeah,
it's kind of like they picked up, and without stumbling. It's like, okay,
yes,
they
exactly.
were good. It's not like, oh, everything got
let's kind of like put that on standby, put like a little bit on Dark, not AEW Dark, but all of that stuff. But Paul, tell me a little bit about like a good promo, also good promo, but another good promo. Sam Gradwell, he's like pretty much like doesn't have any of this anymore, completely shaved. Completely Stone Cold Steve Austin. Antonio Cesaro, that unfortunately he has left the WWE on his own terms. Paul already confirmed he actually talked to him now, but his Paul sources said he did not want to resign. He's cool. Maybe already AEW with Jeff Hardy, but hey, we wish him the best. He was never treated fairly over there. Go where they treat you better and when actually they can do something with you. So there you go. Sam Gradwell again, Paul. Great promo talking about Kenny Williams. This is going to be a great match once they have a rematch. I love this because the whole story, the whole thing is just all about how he looks bald now. He lost the mohawk.
Yeah, that's what he was selling it for most of it. And like we said, it's funny because it wasn't like he had the long flowing locks. He had like a little tiny mohawk, like a little mohawk. And he's like, oh, my son asked me, oh, where's your hair?
What happened with the mohawk?
Yeah, and all this stuff. And he's like, but he ended it good. He's like, when I look in the mirror, all I see is this bald head, and this bald head reminds me of that scum, the earth, that cockroach, Kenny Williams. So, they're going to have a match. This feud continues, and this is good. This is, again, there's a lot of matchups we see. One we touched on in the opening match here, this episode, where, they don't need to just be one-off matches. Do a feud, do something, kind of build it, make it feel special, make it interesting, and that's what they're doing here with this. So, we talked about Joe Coffey earlier. No, this guy right here, I'm going to keep saying it every time we see him. Sam Gradwell, I think, has got to be the next Heritage Cup champion.
He deserves more, because the guy has everything. The wrestling is not bad, and he knows how to sell, and the promo work is actually on point. And also, he has charisma. You can feel it from, as a fan, or as a, if he's a heel, you like the guy because he knows how to sell his story. Really great on that, Paul.
Yes.
Also got to see Jack Stars going. He did something to Pretty Deadly. Like he took.
They cut the nipples out of the shirts and everything.
And you can see the one nipple, And I guess they're gonna have a match next week. So this is gonna be a loaded episode for NXT UK. Really great stuff. And that's the one thing. At least this like you said, these little funny things. It's not over the top. It's not like whoa, like WWE, like WWE likes to do with Raw with SmackDown, and most
Yeah.
of the time it doesn't accentuate anything good. But this is actually working for me because they mastered on Jack Stark. Hopefully they can get them the win, but of course Pretty Deadly has like the opportunity. Remember, they have not challenged yet. They have not got the rematch against Moustache Mountain, so we'll see what happens. But a lot of good stuff happening on next week's episode. Also, Ilya Dragunov answered to Nathan Frazier. What do you think about the promo? You know, he says I had to go a long route, got to win a 20-man battle royal, and then I had to even like suffer my first loss, and then I was able to be ready for what I was about to do. But he accepts regardless. He says this is going to be the beginning of your journey.
Yeah, this was good because he's just like, oh, you just call your shot and say, oh, I want the match, and yeah, I accept. But he's like, you know what I had to do to get my match, and it's like Walter wasn't just gonna accept my challenge. Like I had to, I had to win a 20-man battle royal. I had to fight him, and all this, and he was good. He wasn't healing on him because obviously they're both baby faces, and he's like, yeah. You're not gonna win this. Like I'm telling you right now, like for a shoot, brother, you're not gonna win this. But if like you said, it's the start of your journey. So I think this is gonna be a good matchup, and it'll be one of those things where I think Frazier looks better after this match, kind of like CM Punk Darby Allin, where it's like Darby Allin didn't win, but he looked better after the match.
Yeah, exactly. It's just to give more credibility. It's to present to everybody that doesn't know Nathan Frazier. It's like, hey, this is your opportunity with the best one. It's kind of like in like any other sport. You face like the top guy. You always come out better because you learn more. So it's gonna be good. We're gonna see this next week also. So NXT UK Championship match. That's gonna close the show. Great stuff, family. So let's go now to the main event. Tag Team Championship on the line. Moustache Mountain defending Trent Seven, Tyler Bate going against Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. What are your thoughts of the whole thing? Because I feel that pretty balanced match. What I mean by balance is both teams had their opportunities, and in the end, a pretty different way to end the match, which I like because neither Moustache Mountain look absolutely dominant or they're completely burying good, Smith and Carter.
Yeah, and I like it because a lot of people, when you watch, I'll start the whole match. We'll just go through the whole.
Of course.
I love, like you said, it was even matchup. They really got over Ashton Smith's strength. He's big, he's strong. Even in there, Tyler Bate's the big, strong boy, but Ashton Smith was the one always getting the upper hand of whenever it was the two of them in there, and Oliver Carter, he's good too. The only thing I think it was Carter and I want to say it was Tyler Bate, but it might have been Trent Seven. There was a couple times where they were doing some moves in the corner and doing some stuff, and the timing seemed a little bit you would see Tyler Bate would run at him, and it would be they would stop and they'd probably say the move and then do it. It wasn't there
was one there was one miscommunication. There was a little for 2 seconds it was a scary spot.
Yeah, the flow was a little bit here, but no, I mean everything was good. Trent Seven, and one of the story things I thought was Trent's Ashton Smith. Oliver Carter takes out Trent Seven on the apron. So Tyler Bate, he's in there alone. He can't make the tag, but Tyler Bate didn't see Trent Seven get taken out. So I thought, oh, maybe this will be something where he's like, oh, where were you? If they lost, because we're always trying to have these two guys feud here for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with us, but we want to see them fight instead of be a team. And,
exactly.
But that wasn't the case. He got up and, great action here. Trent Seven hit all his finishers. They hit the big, assisted, almost moonsault or shooting star press or whatever.
Power bomb. That was a really cool. You won the moonsault right there. Assisted
and they hit that, and that's what they did to become number one contenders. And that didn't win them the match. And then later on, they were kind of doing the silly string move that Private Party does. But Trent Seven grabbed Carter's leg, but then Carter, big slam on the outside, and then they eventually, they hit.
They did that pattern also, Paul. They hit
their finisher.
And then he goes to the top rope, dives, and then he catches him.
When that camera angle they had, it was a beautiful camera angle. When they were doing the pin for Trent Seven to dive in and break it up. To me, they had me there. As soon as he broke the pin, I'm like, you know what, they had me, because I thought, oh shit, they're gonna do the title switch. I thought they were gonna do it with Trent Seven.
I like that.
He broke it up, and then to get to the end of this thing.
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate. Yeah, I forget what he even hit. I don't think was it the Tyler driver. I don't think it was. I forget what he hit.
No. It was actually like
was it just the big punch?
Punches.
Yeah, it was like the bop and bang, like the big
Yes.
punch he does to the face. And Smith knew where he was, so he just put his foot on the ropes, like la da 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 da, no big deal. And then Trent Seven comes flying by. Bam, knocks the foot off the rope before the ref can see it. You have Oliver Carter screaming, no, his foot was on the ropes. But if the ref don't see it, it don't mean, squat. So, they get a win here. And, the ending I like because, some people might be like, oh, that's a heel thing to do. But no, it's really not. It's a thing you do to win. It wasn't heel. He didn't cheat. He didn't,
It's not a heel thing. It's a smart thing.
It's a smart thing, yeah. So, I mean, he's the savvy veteran, get the little mustache here, but I mean, this match was great. I mean, maybe they'll do something for a rematch, but this was the best match I think Smith and Carter had, and I like to see their momentum, and I would like to see them be champs. But I think even though we said last week we didn't care who would win, I do think it was too soon to if you would have took the belts off these guys, so that's why they didn't.
No, yeah, no, and also like in this situation, you still see what they're still acting like a great team. Like the moves and everything, their synchrony, their dynamic is still is still on point. So what will be the reason they will start fighting if they see cracks? And there's no cracks right as of now. So you saw that they're gonna win, and that's fine because you have teams like Pretty Deadly's the rematch. You have teams maybe like Jack Starks and Dave Mastiff at some point. You have like also I thought we saw a promo also about Symbiosis. So,
yes, Symbiosis.
We got a promo also. Like I mean, they're good at promo, but can they win?
I mean, the only thing this is their last chance because one, I'll give them like baseball 3 strikes, and also I do like the line he said. An arrow needs to be pulled backwards before it can be shot forward. So I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool. So he's like, we'll use all this bullshit as momentum. And I mean, hey, they're a heel team. You have babyface, because to me, still babyface. They didn't cheat or anything in this. Babyface champions. So get some heel teams ready, and I mean, get really any teams ready. So
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But at least now they gave us a pretty good show, and still till at least the end of the day, we get to see Moustache Man still as tag team champions. Symbiosis I like, but like I said, can they win a match? When we start winning matches, like I said, hopefully that arrow, they can straighten it up and they can start shooting forward, because as of now it's going inside of, they're shoving it inside of somebody else's rear end, and I don't like that. But anyway, family, thank you so very much to every single one of you for watching. Don't forget, we'll have more content in the next couple of days, and also don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also share this link to everywhere, as many places as you guys can, so we bring a little bit of joy to everybody's world where they can find us.
And then guys, make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is